A billionaire insulted a black woman at a bank, calling her a beggar and ordering security to remove her. But everyone froze when she pulled all her shares from the bank. Who is she? In a world full of struggles and second chances, every story hides a lesson worth learning. This is Afnan art, where ordinary lives become extraordinary tales. Sit back, open your heart, and let the story begin. The morning sun spilled through the glass walls of Republic Trust Bank, a high-end financial institution located on Wall Street in New York City. People in suits moved with purpose. The air smelled like expensive cologne and freshly polished floors. Kira Wilson pushed the heavy glass door and stepped inside. She was 26, a black woman with calm eyes, a professional navy blazer, and curly hair tied neatly behind her head. She carried a folder pressed close to her chest. Inside it were documents she needed to prepare for an important move in her company. She walked toward the waiting area and took a seat. The bank buzzed with activity. Tellers typed rapidly behind counters. Phones rang. The digital announcement screen flashed names of clients. Kira sat quietly watching the numbers change. No one greeted her. A customer service representative walked right past her. Then a teller looked directly at her, but quickly diverted his eyes, whispering something to another employee. They laughed. Kira straightened her posture. She had been in many expensive places before. The way people judged her for her skin color and simple outfit was not new. A voice snapped from across the lobby. "Excuse me." Kira lifted her head, not toward her. Two bank employees were rushing to open the glass door. A man entered, surrounded by three assistants, dressed in a tailored suit worth more than most cars. He walked like he owned the entire street. Bradley Sutton, one of the biggest real estate tycoons on the Eastern Coast. His presence shifted the room. Tellers smiled too wide. Customer service staff rushed to escort him to a private suite. Kira watched, expression steady. Bradley caught sight of her. His face wrinkled, as if he smelled something. Rotten. Why is she sitting there in the VIP? Section .VIP, very important person. Kira was sitting exactly where the sign indicated priority clients were supposed to wait. The staff looked at her as if they had not noticed her until now. Their eyes sharpened with judgment. Whispers spread like poison. Does she belong here? She looks like she needs charity. She is probably lost. Kira folded both hands on her lap and inhaled quietly. She refused to shrink. A customer service woman, blonde hair tied in a tight bun, approached Kira with fake politeness coated in irritation. "Mom, this area is reserved for premium clients. You need to move to the public section," Kira spoke calmly. "I am here to print my company account statement." The woman smirked. "Then you should use the general queue. We do not handle loose change here. Loose change. Begging, charity." Kira blinked slowly. Still no anger, only disappointment. Another teller joined in. "If you are asking for any financial assistance, please contact the homelessness shelter downtown. They specialize in cases like yours." A few customers looked at Kira with pity. Others looked with disgust. Kira stood up, still composed. "I am not here for assistance. I'm here to handle business." The teller rolled her eyes. "Right, of course." Kira glanced at Bradley Sutton. He watched the scene like entertainment, lips curved into an arrogant smirk. "Remove her. I do not want to see this." The security guard approached. "Mom, I need you to leave. Now." Kira exhaled. In that moment, she realized something. For them, her value would always be decided by what she looked like. Her voice remained soft. "So this is how you treat your customers." She lifted her chin slightly. A moment of quiet strength. Her words did not shout, yet they echoed through the marble walls. No one answered her. Not yet. Bradley Sutton walked deeper into the bank lobby, the polished soles of his Italian leather shoes tapping against the marble floor like a warning. He moved as if the building owed him reverence. His assistants trailed behind, carrying tablets, files, and a sleek black briefcase. He did not bother to look left or right. To him, everyone in the lobby existed only as background. He paused, adjusting his gold cufflinks. His eyes drifted back to Kira Wilson, who still stood calmly before the security guard. Bradley's gaze was sharp, slicing her up and down with judgment. The arrogance in his stare was not subtle. It was cold, deliberate, and sharpened by entitlement. She does not belong in my line of sight. He walked toward the premium lane, lowering his sunglasses just enough to let her feel the weight of his disdain. His lips curled into a smirk that held no warmth at all. You people always find the most inappropriate places to stand. Kira turned her face toward him, expression steady, giving him nothing to feed on. She did not shrink back. She did not apologize. Bradley's smirk faded into annoyance. He was a man used to power, wealth, and control. Silence challenged him in a way anger never had. One of the tellers hurried toward Bradley, voice almost trembling from excitement. "Mr. Sutton, your suite is ready. We have already prepared the executive lounge and refreshments. If you need anything, just say the word." Bradley nodded as if granting permission to breathe. The staff nearly bowed while leading him past velvet ropes. They opened a door that only elite customers were allowed to enter. Before stepping through, Bradley twisted his head back toward Kira. His voice carried through the entire lobby. "Why are we allowing someone like that in the VIP lounge?" The bank suddenly grew colder. Employees froze. Customers shifted uncomfortably, yet no one spoke up. The blonde customer service woman stepped beside Kira. Her chin tilted with superiority, her tone coated in irritation. "Mom, you need to leave this area immediately." Kira met the woman's eyes. Her voice was calm and even. "I am not in the wrong section. I'm here to handle business." "That should be enough." The blonde leaned closer, lowering her voice to a poisoned whisper. "People like you say things like that all the time." The teller beside her forced a condescending laugh. Maybe she thought this was a public library or a shelter. Kira felt every word hit, but she refused to let her expression crack. She had walked through boardrooms full of men twice her age who doubted her existence. She had dealt with partners who questioned her leadership because she was young and black. None of them could see the company she built from the ground up or the battles she won without applause. She had learned long ago that silence was powerful. The security guard stepped closer, placing a hand near his belt, a warning that did not need to be spoken. "Mom, I will escort you out if you do not move now." Kira's voice turned cool and steady. "If I leave, it will be on my terms." Bradley chuckled under his breath. He crossed his arms. "You must be confused. This bank is a place for people with real investments, not someone looking to cash in a small check." Tellers snickered. Someone from across the lobby whispered, "She is probably here to ask for a loan." Bradley raised his voice a little more, making sure everyone could hear him. "Security, remove her." It was not a request. It was an order. The guard reached for Kira's arm. Before he touched her, she stepped backward, creating a distance so graceful that it felt like a boundary carved in polished stone. She looked straight into his eyes. "Do not touch me." Her voice was soft, but the command carried more power than yelling ever could. Bradley scoffed, annoyed that she was not reacting with fear. "So you can speak? Good. Then you can walk yourself out." Kira remained still. The tension in the air thickened, heavy enough to strain the silence. People began recording on their phones. A few whispered, shocked. Others simply watched, eager for drama. Kira inhaled slowly. Her heartbeat stayed steady. She gently opened the folder in her hands. Neatly arranged within were financial documents stamped with official seal signatures. Not loose papers, not random printouts, documents that held weight and power. She placed the folder on the counter beside her. "I came here for a simple task, to print the statement of my company account." Before anyone could respond, she reached into her purse and pulled out her phone. Her voice did not shake. "If this is how you treat your customers, then I will make sure this bank never forgets this moment." Bradley laughed, waving her off. "You have no power here." Kira lifted her phone to her ear. "Watch me." The bank lobby felt as if time had stopped. Every click of Kira's heels echoed like a warning as she stepped away from the counter and held her phone to her ear. A hush fell over the room. Even the scrolling numbers on the stock ticker above the reception desk seemed to slow down. She spoke clearly, her tone steady and businesslike. "Good morning. Execute the full transfer." On the other end of the line, her private broker responded immediately. Voice crisp and professional. "Understood. Which account should receive the funds?" Bradley rolled his eyes and leaned toward one of his assistants. His voice dripped with sarcasm. Listen to her. She is probably transferring $20. The assistant snickered nervously. Kira continued speaking into the phone. Bothered. Transfer everything to Unity Federal Bank. Sell all shares I hold in Republic Trust Bank. Do it now. She did not whisper the words. She did not hide her intention. Her calmness was terrifying. Bradley crossed his arms, incredulous. Shares. You are hilarious. But Kira was not laughing. The sound of rapid typing burst through the speaker on her phone as her broker processed the request. Tellers behind the counter leaned closer, suddenly uneasy, as if they sensed something in the air shifting. Then the broker spoke again. Confirmation required. Total withdrawal equals 29.8% ownership. This will trigger mandatory alerts to the bank board. The words cracked like lightning across the lobby. 29.8%. Someone gasped. A pen slipped from a teller's hand and clattered onto the floor. Bradley stiffened, incredulous. His smirk vanished. The blonde customer service woman shook her head in denial. There is no way. Her voice trembled, suddenly weak. Kira's gaze stayed forward, her expression unreadable. She placed the call on speaker so the words resonated through the marble hall. Proceed. The broker did not hesitate. Executing now. A rapid electronic chime sounded from the trading monitor behind the counter. Red warning text flashed repeatedly across the screen. Large shareholder exit. System alert. Trading fluctuation detected. The entire lobby erupted into chaos. Tellers frantically tapped keyboards. The operations manager stepped out of his glass office, eyes wide as he scanned the flashing screen. What is happening? Why is the system showing a large-scale liquidation? No one answered him. Bradley stared at Kira. Speechless, you cannot be serious. He tried to laugh, but the sound died halfway. You expect me to believe someone like you owns shares of this bank? Kira began gathering her documents, every motion slow and controlled, like someone who knew they held the absolute upper hand. Believe what you want. The room trembled again as a second system alert rang out, louder this time. The trading monitor updated in real time. Republic Trust Bank share value drop. 17% and falling. The manager paled as he watched the numbers collapse. Stop the transfer. Stop it now. Kira looked up, her voice cool as steel. You cannot stop what has already begun. One by one, the employees who mocked her lost their confidence. Their smiles faded into horror. Security took a step back from Kira as if she suddenly radiated heat. Bradley pointed at her, his voice desperate. Do you have any idea what you are doing, Kira? Finally faced him fully. I am doing exactly what you asked. Confusion knotted his brow. What? Are you talking about? You told them to remove me, so I removed something as well. The blonde customer service agent swallowed. Hard, what did you remove? Kira slid her phone into her purse. My ownership. The lobby was dead. Quiet. Bradley's jaw clenched. You ruined an entire banking position out of pride. Kira shook her head slowly. No, I removed my money from a place that refused to see me as human. The words hit, deeper than a shout could have. Behind them, another alert chimed. Republic Trust Bank share value drop, 26%. Financial instability detected. Panic flared across every employee's face. The manager turned to the staff. Call the regional chief immediately. Kira began walking toward the exit, her steps steady and composed, as if she was done with this place forever. Bradley finally found his voice, but it was broken now. Wait. Kira paused without turning back. Do not confuse the value of a person with the value of your assumptions. Then she walked out. The alarms kept ringing. The stock price kept falling. And for the first time in the bank's history, the people inside realized that the richest person in the room was the one they had tried to throw out. The automatic glass doors closed behind Kira, sealing the lobby with a soft hiss. Yet inside the bank, her presence lingered like thunderclouds that refused to clear. For a few seconds, no one moved, no one spoke. Everyone stared at the trading monitor in disbelief, as if it had betrayed them. On the large LED screen behind the reception desk, numbers continued to sink. Republic Trust Bank share value drop, 31%. Immediate market instability. The operations manager, a middle-aged man with silver hair and a trembling voice, pushed past the stunned employees. He stared at the monitor like someone watching a building collapse in slow motion. This cannot be happening. Who approved liquidation of a major shareholder? The teller who mocked Kira earlier whispered, voice shaking. She said, transfer everything. We thought she was bluffing. The manager spun around, eyes burning with disbelief and anger. You did not verify her identity. You did not check her account. You did not confirm her client profile. His voice rose by the second. You humiliated her. The teller swallowed hard, unable to deny it. Behind them, Bradley Sutton gripped the edge of the premium counter so tightly that his knuckles turned white. His expensive composure had cracked. Arrogance bled into disbelief. That woman cannot own that much stock. She cannot. Yet the numbers on the screen said otherwise. An employee hurried to her computer, typing rapidly. Sir, the system shows she owns multiple corporate accounts tied to the Wilson Group. And the Wilson Group is one of our highest yield investors. Another alert flashed across the monitor. Share value drop, 34%. Liquidity crisis escalating. Bradley reached for the counter, jaw clenched. Do not exaggerate. She looked like she walked in from a subway station. The manager snapped back. That woman just triggered a market-level transfer. Who she is does not depend on what she wears. A hush settled. Even the security guard lowered his head, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. Bradley tried to gather himself. Call the top floor. Call the chairman of the bank. This is a mistake we can reverse. The manager lifted a phone with trembling hands. Sir, headquarters is calling us. The urgency in his voice tightened the air. He pressed the speaker button. A crisp, commanding voice cut through the static. This is Robert Kingston, Chief Operating Officer. We just received an emergency alert. Who authorized the forced removal of our largest shareholder from the VIP lounge? The room froze. The blonde customer service agent lifted her hand slightly, like a child caught misbehaving in class. I did. She was sitting where she did not belong. Silence. Crushed her. The COO's voice sharpened. You removed the owner of nearly 1/3 of our bank's equity. Because of a seat. Her face drained of all color. Bradley stepped forward. Desperate to redirect blame, sir, she caused a scene. She dressed like... The COO cut him off so sharply that he stumbled. We value capital and contribution, not your personal prejudice. The room held its breath. One of the customer service representatives whispered, barely audible. She tried to tell us she was here for business. We refused to listen. The COO spoke again, voice colder this time. Prepare every document. Get the branch owner on the line. This is now a crisis. Before the manager could reply, another alert screamed across the room. Republic Trust share value drop, 38%. Severe market crash warning. The trading algorithm shut down temporarily to prevent further collapse. Every employee stood frozen, as if they were witnessing the end of their careers. The manager pushed his hand through his hair, overwhelmed. All of this because we looked down on someone who walked in quietly. Bradley's voice finally broke. We need to stop her. But Kira was already crossing the street outside. Calm and unhurried, sunlight reflecting off the windows behind her. Inside the bank, panic spread like fire. Her absence carried more power than their authority ever had. Bradley Sutton stormed toward the front doors, fueled by panic rather than dignity. His expensive shoes screeching on the polished floor. His assistant scurried behind him, unsure whether to follow or to stay inside where chaos kept erupting. The moment he reached the glass exit, the doors opened automatically, releasing a sharp gust of New York wind that slapped him in the face like the truth he refused to accept. Kira Wilson was already halfway across Wall Street. Her stride was calm, powerful. She moved with the kind of confidence money could never buy, even though she had enough wealth to choke the building behind her. Bradley chased after her. Kira. Wait. She did not slow down. Her heels clicked against the concrete, firm and steady. Taxis honked. Pedestrians rushed past with coffee cups and briefcases. The world outside the bank continued, unaware that a corporate catastrophe had just been set in motion. Bradley finally caught up, enough to speak. You are making a huge mistake, Kira. stopped walking for the first time since. She left the lobby. The sun caught her face. New York traffic roared behind her. For a moment, the power dynamic flipped completely. Her voice was steady. "No, I am correcting yours." Bradley opened his mouth to argue, but words failed him. His breath fogged in the cool morning air. His expression shifted from anger to uncertainty. "You are destroying the entire bank over a misunderstanding." Kira turned fully facing him. People around them slowed their pace, sensing tension. A misunderstanding is when someone gets a name wrong. What happened inside was discrimination. Bradley scoffed, trying to reclaim power, but the desperation in his eyes betrayed him. "You cannot be their largest shareholder. You cannot. It does not make sense." Kira took a slow breath, as if weighing whether he deserved the truth. When she finally spoke, her tone carried the kind of patience that comes only from strength. "I founded Wilson Group at 20. I built it without anyone's permission, and I invested in that bank when they were begging for capital." She stepped closer. "So, yes." I can. Bradley stared at her, stunned. He had spent his life believing power belonged only to men like him. Men with privilege, money, and influence. But Kira dismantled that belief simply by existing, and by walking away. Kira moved to cross the street again, but Bradley grabbed her wrist. Kira jerked her hand free. "Do not touch me." The authority in her voice was unmistakable. Bradley's face flushed, and he raised his hands defensively. "Okay, fine, I just want to talk." He tried to soften his tone. "You must understand. I did not know who you were." Kira's laugh was almost silent. "You should not need to know who someone is to treat them with respect." A gust of wind swept between them, lifting a strand of Kira's hair. Bradley swallowed hard. "Come back to the bank. They will apologize. We can fix this." Kira glanced at the towering glass building behind him, watching employees rush back and forth like startled insects. "Fixing? You did not want to fix anything until your money was threatened." Bradley ran a hand through his hair, pacing, desperate. "We can talk numbers, percentage, equity retention, a negotiation. Anything you want." Kira cut him off. "When you see a black woman quietly minding her business, you assume she has nothing." Bradley froze. "Inside that bank, the moment you felt uncomfortable, you used your privilege to try to erase me." He opened his mouth to protest, but Kira's next words silenced him. "You didn't just underestimate me. You disrespected me." Her eyes hardened, not with anger, but with clarity. "I do not negotiate with disrespect." Bradley stared at her as if seeing her for the first time. The kind of person he could never control. Never intimidate, never buy. Kira turned away and began walking again. Every step a declaration of power. Behind her, the front doors of Republic Trust Bank burst open. The branch manager and several staff members stumbled out, their faces pale and frantic. They scanned the sidewalk, searching for Kira like someone searching for oxygen. Bradley pointed toward her. "There, she's over there, hurry!" The staff started running across the plaza. Kira didn't even turn around. She kept walking. And with each step, the distance between who they thought she was and who she truly is grew wider. Inside the bank, alarms kept screaming. Outside the bank, silence followed Kira like a crown. Back inside Republic Trust Bank, the atmosphere had shifted from panic to pure destruction. The lobby, once polished and silent, now buzzed with frantic footsteps and overlapping voices. Employees sprinted between desks. Phones rang without pause. Someone spilled a cup of coffee on the marble floor and didn't bother cleaning it. Every monitor flashed red. Republic Trust Bank share value drop, 43%. System lock engaged. Trading halted. The heart of the bank had stopped beating. The branch manager hurried toward a conference room made of glass, shouting orders no one could carry out. "Call head office. Call legal. Get the treasury team online." His voice cracked. He was losing control. He knew it. Everyone knew it. The blonde customer service agent who had humiliated Kira stood frozen at her workstation, staring at the plummeting stock graph. Her face, once smug and confident, was now drained of all color. "This is my fault," her coworker beside her whispered sharply. "They are going to fire us. All of us." The security guard swallowed hard, gripping the radio clipped to his chest. His voice came out hoarse. "She warned us. She walked in calmly and we treated her like trash." The blonde customer service agent slammed her shaky hands on the counter. If she really had that much money, why did she dress like that? The teller flinched. Because money doesn't buy class. But maybe class doesn't need to show off money. The blonde agent looked away, jaw clenched. She had no defense. Meanwhile, the operations manager burst out of the conference room, followed by a man in a dark navy suit. His presence radiated authority. It was the regional director, Lucas Harding. He walked with long, purposeful strides, passing the panicked staff without acknowledging them. His face remained eerily calm, but his eyes were sharp, scanning the damage. He read the trading screen, then turned abruptly to the branch manager. "Tell me what happened, now." The manager wiped sweat from his forehead. "Sir, our staff removed a client from the VIP area without checking her identity. She claimed to own shares and—" Lucas interrupted, voice cold. "Not shares. She owned almost a third of the bank." The room fell silent. No one dared breathe. Lucas raised his voice. "Who touched her?" All eyes shifted toward the security guard. He paled, stepping backward. "I only followed orders." Lucas did not blink. "Whose orders?" The blonde customer service agent lifted her shaking hand. "Mine." Lucas turned toward her. His expression did not soften. "Pack your things. You are done here." Her knees nearly buckled. Tears filled her eyes as she gripped the edge of the desk. Bradley Sutton stormed through the door, dragging wind and anger back into the lobby. "We still have time. We can fix this. She is just emotional. I can talk her into reversing the transfer." Lucas looked at him unimpressed. "You caused this," Bradley scoffed. "I am a VIP client. If the bank collapses, you need my business." Lucas leaned in, voice low but sharp. "We do not need your deposits. We needed her ownership." Bradley's bravado drained from his eyes. Lucas continued. "This bank was stable because of Kira Wilson. Without her, we lose everything. Our liquidity, our position, our credibility." He pointed toward the trading screen. "That drop is a message. To Wall Street, to investors, to our board. And it says we do not deserve her money." Bradley pressed his fingers into his temples. "We can apologize. We can do damage control. Just bring her back inside." Lucas shook his head. "You do not understand. You cannot bring back trust once you shatter it." The room trembled under those words. Bradley glanced toward the entrance again, searching for Kira like a man watching his last lifeline drift further away. One of the younger tellers inhaled shakily, a whisper escaping her lips. "We thought she had nothing." Lucas's eyes were ice cold. "That was your first mistake. You looked at her skin, not her worth." The bank fell silent, haunted by the truth. Bradley slammed his palm against the counter, voice raised. "I refused to lose everything because she got offended." Lucas didn't blink, "And that is why you never deserved anything in the first place." Bradley's face crumpled, not from anger, but from realization. Everything that made him feel powerful inside that building vanished the moment Kira stepped out. For the first time in his life, Bradley Sutton understood what it felt like to be powerless. Inside the glass walls, the collapse continued. Outside the building, Kira walked farther away. Every step she took pulled another percentage point from the stock price and from the egos that once stood above her. The wind outside Republic Trust Bank carried the noise of impatient taxis and the distant rumble of subway trains beneath the street. Kira walked slowly, letting the city breathe around her. The pavement was dotted with early morning commuters, coffee carts and pedestrians glued to their phones. New York was always rushing, but Kira moved deliberately. Every step held purpose. She paused at the edge of the crosswalk. A bright red light reflected against a puddle near her shoes. To her left, a street vendor set down a tray of warm pretzels, the steam rising gently in the cold morning air. The scent of roasted nuts and cinnamon drifted from another cart. A bus rolled past, the windows painted with blurred faces. Kira inhaled, letting her shoulders relax. For the first time that morning, she felt the tension leave her chest. She had not planned any of this. All she wanted was a printed bank statement. But discrimination had turned that simple task into a declaration. Across the sidewalk, the glass tower of Republic Trust Bank reflected the morning sunlight. Its mirrored windows shimmered, looking every bit as cold and unreachable as the people inside had been. Kira narrowed her eyes at the building, her reflection small against the towering facade. A man in a navy coat walked past her and offered a polite smile. She nodded back. That simple respect, a stranger's acknowledgement, meant more than any apology forced by panic. Kira loosened her grip on her purse. Her phone vibrated once. She pulled it out and read the message on her screen. Transfer complete, just 2 words. But those 2 words carried the weight of every insult she had endured inside that lobby. She slid the phone into her pocket and lifted her chin. The city lights caught her eyes, reflecting quiet strength. A single thought crossed her mind. I walk away with dignity. They remain with their shame. Suddenly, the revolving door behind her spun violently. Bradley Sutton burst onto the sidewalk, breathing hard. He scanned the busy street with frantic eyes. Kira. Her name left his mouth without the arrogance he usually carried. He jogged closer but slowed down when he reached her side, as if afraid she might vanish if he moved too quickly. Kira remained still. Bradley pointed back at the towering building, words tumbling out in broken fragments. The branch owner has been informed. The regional director is inside. The entire board knows what happened. Kira's eyes stayed on the skyline, not on him. They know now. Good. Bradley tried to organize his thoughts, but panic scattered them again. Please, just tell them you exaggerated, or that you acted emotionally, or that this can still be worked out. Kira turned toward him slowly. Her face was calm and unshaken. You want me to fix the damage that came from your disrespect? Bradley blinked rapidly, searching for excuses. I did not know who you were. Kira took a step forward. The wind blew her hair gently across her face, and that was your problem. Her voice was low, not angry and just factual. You valued privilege. People. Another gust of wind swept down the street, flipping a loose sheet of newspaper against Bradley's leg. He didn't notice. His world was collapsing behind him. Kira continued. When someone walks into a bank, you don't judge their worth by their clothes. You judge them by how you treat them. Bradley opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Kira's words held more weight than anything he could say in his defense. A delivery truck slowed near them, blocking part of the street view. Kira used the pause to step away, as if physically releasing herself from everything tied to the bank behind her. Bradley's voice dropped into something close to pleading. We can rebuild from this. Kira looked at him, truly looked, and saw a man who had never known consequences. I do not rebuild what was built on disrespect. The walk signal flashed white. The city flowed again. Kira crossed the street without looking back. Bradley did not follow. He stood at the curb, staring at the shrinking figure of the woman he once dismissed. Now the woman who held the fate of the bank in her hands. The morning light grew brighter, washing her silhouette in gold. Kira stepped into that sunlight and disappeared into the crowd, leaving behind a building full of panic, a man stripped of his power, and a legacy of arrogance undone by a single moment of dignity. Back inside the bank, the chaos had reached a frightening peak. The sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the marble floor. Voices overlapped. Phones rang on every desk, all at once like alarm bells signaling the end of something big. Republic Trust Bank was no longer functioning. It was a sinking ship, employees clustered in small groups whispering, their faces pale. Is this real? Are we actually collapsing? She took almost 30% of the bank. The blonde customer service agent sat at her desk with trembling hands, staring at her reflection in the polished metal of the counter. Her mascara was smudged from tears she tried to hide. The memory of her own voice echoed in her head. Maybe she wants loose change. Maybe she should go to the shelter. The security guard leaned against the wall, head down, replaying Kira's calm voice in his mind. Do not touch me. He had touched countless people when escorting them out, but no moment lingered like this one. His chest tightened with guilt. Across the lobby, the operations manager rushed to the elevator. He jabbed the button repeatedly, waiting for it to open. When the doors finally parted, a dark suit stepped out. A man in his late 60s, tall, commanding, and composed. The kind of presence that silenced rooms. Jonathan Pierce, the chairman and founder of Republic Trust Bank. His footsteps were slow and deliberate, yet each tap of his cane against the marble floor sliced through the noise like a gavel of judgment. The room froze. Employees straightened, fixing their posture like frightened students awaiting discipline. Jonathan scanned the scene. His eyes were not angry. They were disappointed, a far more dangerous emotion. He turned to Lucas Harding, the regional director. Has anyone explained why the largest shareholder of this institution walked out without receiving service? Lucas inhaled sharply. Yes, sir. The staff assumed she was not a VIP client. Jonathan tilted his head slightly. Because she is a young black woman. The silence that followed was suffocating. The blonde customer service agent finally broke. Unable to hold the weight anymore, she was sitting where she did not belong. We have policies. Jonathan's jaw tightened. Policies are meant to guide service, not justify discrimination. He walked past her, slow and controlled. As he moved, employees stepped aside instinctively, clearing a path. Jonathan approached the trading monitor. He watched the numbers continue to drop. Republic Trust Bank share value drop, 49%. Market crash imminent. Reputation collapse. Jonathan tapped his cane once against the floor. Call her. The branch manager swallowed. Sir, she will not answer us. Call her, not request, not suggestion, order. Lucas dialed Kira's number. The line rang. Once, twice. Then the screen flashed, call declined. Lucas lowered the phone. Jonathan Pierce exhaled, the weight of an empire collapsing behind him. You forced out the one person who made this bank stable. You treated her like she was invisible. He turned slowly to face the staff. She trusted this bank. We failed that trust. The blonde CS agent trembled. I only followed what the VIP policy said. Jonathan stepped closer. His voice dropped into a controlled, quiet power. You followed your prejudice, not policy. The room stiffened. No one blinked. Jonathan lifted a hand and pointed at the security guard, the blonde CS agent, the teller who laughed. One by one, slowly. Pack your desks. You are dismissed, the blonde agent gasped. You cannot fire us, Jonathan leaned in. I just did. She grabbed her purse with trembling fingers, humiliated. As she walked to the exit, tears streamed down her cheeks. The security guard took off his badge, eyes lowered. The teller gathered her things in silence. Jonathan pivoted toward Lucas. Get me a car. We are going to find Ms. Wilson. Lucas blinked. Sir, where do we start? Jonathan tapped his cane once more. You start by walking outside and looking for the woman the entire bank ignored. For the first time in the history of Republic Trust Bank, the chairman, the man who built this empire from the ground up, left his own building not as a symbol of power, but as someone chasing accountability. Kira did not rush. She walked through the city as if the wind itself parted a path for her. The buildings around her towered like polished giants, steel and glass catching sunlight and refracting it into streaks of gold. Midtown Manhattan pulsed with life. People wove through crosswalks. Taxi drivers leaned on their horns. Street vendors shouted daily specials. The world carried on, completely unaware that the financial stability of an entire bank was collapsing behind her. Kira pulled her coat closer around her body. She wasn't cold. She just wanted distance, not from the building but from the disrespect she had experienced. She reached Bryant Park and found a quiet bench beside a fountain. Morning joggers passed by. A woman walked a golden retriever, humming a tune. Children in uniform marched toward school. Normal life felt grounding. Kira sat, exhaling slowly. Her phone buzzed once. Notification, transfer completed. Account, Unity Federal Bank status, funds received. It was done. Irreversible. Kira leaned back and let the fountain's water droplets cool her face. She had no regret, only peace. A shadow passed in front of her. She opened her eyes. Bradley Sutton stood there, panting, sweat forming at his temples despite the cool breeze. He had chased her across 3 blocks. Kira, please. She didn't move, didn't invite him to sit, didn't acknowledge his presence with anything more than silence. Bradley tried again, breath unsteady. I talked to the board. They want to meet you. We're willing to discuss retraction of the transfer. Kira stared at the fountain. I have nothing to retract. Bradley looked frustrated, then desperate. We can offer higher dividends, a seat on the advisory board, a dedicated VIP suite, exclusive terms. Whatever you want. Kira finally turned her head. You think this is still about a transaction? Bradley blinked. Thrown off, she continued, it's about dignity. He stood there confused. Not because he didn't understand the word, but because he had never valued it. Kira rose to her feet. She was shorter than Bradley, but somehow, she looked taller. You judged me by what I looked like, not by what I built. Bradley's voice cracked. I made a mistake. No, you made a decision. She walked past him, but Bradley turned quickly and blocked her path. What do you want from us? Kira paused and looked him directly in the eyes. Respect, but that cannot be bought. Not with dividends, not with incentives, not even with apologies. Bradley swallowed. I don't know how to fix this. Kira leaned closer, her voice low but powerful. Then learn. She brushed past him and began walking again. Bradley did not follow right away. He stood frozen, realizing that for the first time in his life, no amount of wealth could influence an outcome. Not even his. When he finally began walking again, it was slower, defeated. But someone else was approaching. From a distance, Kira saw a sleek black limousine stop at the edge of the park. The back door opened. Jonathan Pierce stepped out, the chairman of Republic Trust Bank. He walked with energy and purpose, guided by his cane. Two senior executives followed him, nearly tripping over themselves to keep up. Kira stopped walking. Jonathan approached and removed his hat, a gesture of respect rarely seen from men of his stature. Ms. Wilson. Kira did not immediately respond. Jonathan continued, no business operation matters more than the dignity of a person. What happened inside my bank was unacceptable. He spoke each word carefully, as if every syllable carried weight. The people responsible have been removed from their positions, effective today. Bradley watched from a distance, his face drained of all remaining pride. Kira studied Jonathan's expression, searching for a trace of insincerity. Jonathan nodded slowly. I did not come to convince you to reverse the transfer. I came to thank you for showing us who we allowed inside our institution. Kira exhaled, tension leaving her shoulders. Jonathan stepped back, leaving space, a gesture equal to bowing. The world will not remember their arrogance, but it will remember your integrity. Kira held his gaze. I do not invest in buildings. I invest in culture. Jonathan nodded. Then wherever you take your capital next. They are lucky. Kira turned her back to him and walked toward the street. Her stride was confident, effortless, like someone who needed no validation from the world. Bradley watched her disappear into the flow of people. Her figure faded into the rhythm of the city, and just like that, power shifted forever. The late afternoon sun painted the city in deep amber. The glass towers of Manhattan shimmered like monuments forged from fire, every window catching the fading light. Traffic slowed along Fifth Avenue. Streetlights blinked awake one by one, as if preparing the city for night. Kira stood at the entrance of Unity Federal Bank, the institution that had already welcomed her transfer without hesitation. The lobby inside was warm, filled with quiet professionalism. No one stared at her. No one whispered. No one judged. A receptionist approached with a smile that held genuine respect. Welcome, Miss Wilson. Our private suite is ready whenever you are. Kira nodded, grateful for the simplicity of being treated like a person. She walked further inside, where a personal banker awaited her in a minimalist office decorated with soft lighting and floor-to-ceiling windows. Her documents were neatly prepared on a polished wooden desk. Here, she was not invisible. She was seen. While Kira signed the final confirmation papers, her phone vibrated once. She glanced at the notification. Republic Trust Bank stock value collapse confirmed. Market standing downgraded. Kira set the phone aside and continued signing without hesitation. When the final signature was complete, she sat back and breathed. Not relief, not triumph, closure. As she stepped out of the new bank, the city greeted her with cool evening air. Her heels tapped against the sidewalk in a rhythmic confidence. Just as she reached the curb, someone called her name. Not shouted, not demanded, spoken carefully as if afraid to break something fragile. Ms. Wilson. Kira turned. Jonathan Pierce stood a few feet away. His hat was removed once again, held respectfully at his side. His posture was straight, not weakened by age or authority. Behind him stood Lucas and two other executives, silent and already humbled by the day's events. Jonathan approached with measured steps. "I came only to say thank you." Kira remained still. Jonathan continued, "What happened today revealed more about us than it did about you. You showed us a flaw in our culture we refused to see." His voice lowered, steady and sincere. "I am sorry that you had to be the one to expose it." Kira's expression softened slightly. "Apologies do not rebuild trust." Jonathan nodded. "No, but acknowledgement is the first stone laid in a new foundation." For a moment the wind quieted. The city seemed to listen. Jonathan's voice carried the weight of a man used to power, yet shaped by humility. "If the day ever comes when you want partnership built on respect, not hierarchy, my doors will be open to you." Kira gave a single nod. "Thank you, but my investment stays where dignity lives." Jonathan accepted her answer without argument. As Kira stepped toward the waiting sidewalk, Bradley emerged from behind the executives. He looked smaller, quieter, stripped of arrogance. Not a tycoon now, but a man confronting his own reflection. "Kira, wait." She looked at him, but there was no anger in her gaze. Only distance. Bradley swallowed the weight of his pride. "I did not lose to you. I lost to the way I treated you." Kira held his eyes for a long moment. Growth starts when excuses stop. She turned away. She crossed the street, letting the night swallow her silhouette. The city lights cast a soft glow over her path, not as a spotlight, but as affirmation. This chapter of power was hers, not because she had money, but because she had self-worth. Bradley stood frozen. Jonathan watched in silence. Lucas bowed his head. The woman they dismissed had walked away with everything that mattered, and the institution that once believed it held all the power now stood empty-handed. Kira disappeared into the flow of pedestrian lights at the crosswalk. Her steps were steady. Her path was forward. The world had not changed because she fought for respect. It changed because she walked away from those who refused to give it.